For any outfit to be complete, spring, winter, fall, or summer, you need to have the right shoes. And almost as important as the right shoes, the shoes need to be clean. So in this video, we are going to cover how to clean 6 of the most prominent shoe styles for the summer. And in case you didn't know, we have a newsletter that goes out a couple of times a month. It's called The Dirty Dish. It's written by me, and it's full of great cleaning tips and information, funny and interesting cleaning news, the latest and greatest in cleaning products and tools, and even some cleaning memes. So if you want to get on that list, you can click the link down below and sign up. Anytime you're cleaning any shoe, you want to start by just dry brushing. I know it sounds like a skin technique, but basically you're going to use any dry brush that you have, a soft or medium bristle brush, an old toothbrush, you can get a special shoe brush. You're going to hold your shoe down and you're just going to brush down just to start loosening dirt off. You want to throw them into the wash with sturdy fabrics, so towels, jeans, work clothes, that kind of thing. So you can throw that all in, and that kind of helps to scrub everything. If you want, you can add a little scoop of baking soda to the mix as well when you're putting everything in the wash, and that can just help to further scrub out, whiten, deodorize a little bit. You're going to use regular detergent, and you want to use cold water. Anytime you're washing shoes, whatever shoes we talk about, if they're going in the machine, you want to stick with cold water. You don't want to melt any glue or any material. You're going to run it through on a regular cycle, and then these can just be air dried. You don't need to put them in the dryer for obvious reasons. Now, if you look at them and you say, oh, they came out of the wash and they still kind of have a stain on them, at that point you can use a paste of a little bit of water, a little bit of baking soda, and a little bit of dish soap, just a third, and a third. Apply that with a cleaning toothbrush, scrub it, you can let it sit for a little bit, and then rinse it off and let it dry. I've had a lovely pair of shiny brown Birkenstocks for about the past 5 years. At the time of this filming, I can't find them, so I'm gonna spend the next couple of days looking for them so that I can actually demo for you how to clean them in this video. Either way, I'm gonna walk you through the technique. Now, when you think about a Birkenstock, it comprises 3 types of material. You've got the leather upper, you've got the cork footbed, and then you've got the rubber sole. It's not as hard to take care of as you think, and people who love Birkenstocks will tell you they've had theirs for years and they're comfortable. Here's the deal, you just gotta take care of them because they can get a little smelly. So first and foremost, if you notice any dirt, if you have suede, you wanna actually just use the suede brush and brush the suede clean. It's a nice, easy thing to do. For leather, you can just give it a nice wipe down. You can use a leather cleaner if you have one. All right, moving on to the footbed. This, you might notice like a foot imprint. That's like the dirt and the foot oils and all the things that are just coming off your body, settling nicely into the cork. This can be cleaned on a somewhat regular basis. Make a paste of equal parts baking soda and water. You might actually want to throw a little bit more baking soda in there so you can get more of a paste-like consistency. So maybe 2 parts baking soda, 1 part water, but play around with it. You want it to be pliable enough so you can actually spread it on. You're going to apply it to the footbed. You can use your hand or you can use a cleaning toothbrush, and then you just want to scrub it in. You're going to notice it starts to change colors. It's not going to be neon green, it's going to be brown. Okay? And then you can wipe that off with a damp cloth. When that's done, you can then reapply that baking soda paste and just let it sit overnight. This is going to help to further clean and deodorize the cork. In the morning, you can brush it off, you can use that damp cloth to just rinse it off, let it air dry. You don't want to use any heat or any sunlight. That's kind of really bad for cork. Now, one other thing you can do with the cork on a somewhat regular basis is use a cork sealant, and you would want to do this after the cork is clean and after it is dry. I'll put a link to that down below. That's obviously if you're hardcore about it, but cork can crack and rot, and if you're investing in Birkenstocks and you want them to be around for a while, consider that when you're taking care of them. Now, something a lot of people don't think about are the laces, but you can actually take them out, throw them into a delicates bag. You can even pre-treat them with a laundry pre-treater or a little bit of laundry detergent ahead of time and throw them into the wash. Now let's talk about your actual shoes. If you notice, like for example, on these Converse, that there are some stains on the rubber, or if they weren't black and they had some stains on the actual fabric themselves, you can pre-treat that. Here on the rubber, you can add a little bit of a baking soda paste And on the fabric itself, you can actually add a little bit of laundry detergent or some fabric pre-treater before you put them into the wash. Now, what you'd want to do to your load is you'd want to throw in, again, like a heavy fabric, towels, jeans, work clothes, something like that, to help kind of scrub the shoes clean. Feel free to add a scoop of oxygen bleach detergent into the load as well. That's going to help brighten and whiten your fabrics on your shoes. It'll also help to deodorize. When the cycle is done, you're going to take out the shoes and air dry them. You don't necessarily have to put them in the sun, but you want to put them somewhere where there's a good amount of air circulation. And if you want your shoes to form nicely instead of flatten out, what you can do is find some sort of breathable fabric like a mesh or one of those mesh sponges, and you can stuff it into the shoe to reform the shape. If you put like a towel, it would just absorb all the water and it would never dry properly. When we look at a leather shoe, we've got essentially 3 different components. We've got laces, so we know we can take those out and put those in a delicates bag and machine wash them. We've got the leather upper, and then we've got the rubber sole. So you can tell with my rubber sole, it's definitely a little bit dirty and it does need a good clean. The way that I clean these leather soles, I will either use a paste of a little bit of baking soda and a little bit of dish soap, maybe a little bit of water to thin it out, and I apply that with a cleaning toothbrush. I give it a pretty good scrub, and then I rinse it and dry. I will also do this if I'm really feeling up to it. I will also do this on the soles. The next part is the leather. So you don't want to use anything that's going to be abrasive or drying to the leather. What you can do is get yourself a good leather cleaner. I'll link a couple that I like down below. You would follow the instructions to a T, apply it generally with a cloth, let it sit for a couple of minutes. The leather cleaner starts to break down whatever is sitting on the surface, and then you can wipe it clean. And you might want to do a finishing kind of treatment with a leather protector. Now, for people who are really obsessed with sneakers and running shoes, there are like entire product lines dedicated to this, ways that you can get like the little stitches on the lace like perfectly clean. I mean, if that's you, there are specialty products out there. Pretty detailed work, but it can be done. How about the all fabric running shoe? Now, this fabric could range from natural to synthetic fibers. Allbirds, for example, they have a performance wool. These are Vesties, they're waterproof. They are Chad's shoes. They are made of all material, but even like Nike, Adidas, any of these brands that make an all running shoe that don't have leather on them, those shoes are all machine washable. So the way that you would wash them is essentially the same way that we talked about cleaning our canvas shoes. The most important thing here is that you're checking to make sure that the fabric is indeed washable. The best way to do that is either to check the fabric care label or to go on the manufacturer's website directly and see what they recommend. And then there's the hybrid shoe. Yes, these are the beautiful shoes that grab your attention on a website, and you don't really think about maintaining them, you just want to get them on your feet. But then when the time comes and they look a little less than fresh, it leaves you scratching your head. Well, here's the thing, a hybrid shoe has to be treated like its most delicate component. So in the case of these beautiful shoes, they've got hollow, they've got leather, they're not going in the wash. So I would look at a pair of shoes like these, I would break down the components and understand how to clean each particular part, and then I would go to town. So this has rubber. We know how to clean a rubber sole. I would use that baking soda paste and a cleaning toothbrush, rinse it clean. Then we would move up to the fabric part of the shoe, which I would clean simply using a combination of a little drop of dish soap and water. I'm talking like a pinky nail size drop of dish soap, quarter teaspoon, get that into maybe a cup of water and whip up a solution. I don't want too much soap because too much soap leaves residue behind. That residue becomes magnetic and actually attracts more dirt to it. So your shoes are gonna look dirtier quicker. You don't want that. Alternatively, you can use a little bit of laundry detergent to do this. Either way, you're gonna use some sort of detergent, some sort of surfactant to lift up the dirt. Then you're gonna use a cloth, you're gonna dip it into clean water and blot the shoe until you remove as much residue as you can. When it comes to treating the leather components of the shoe, you're going to use leather cleaner, as we discussed. And then finally, for the laces, you can pull those out and throw them into the wash. We've noticed a couple of interesting shoe-related quandaries, and I want to get your opinions on them in the comments down below. First of all, people tend to not like wearing socks with running shoes. We get the look, but it just doesn't feel right to stick a bare foot into a closed shoe. Conversely, you have people walking around wearing socks, like full-on tube socks, with sandals. So let me know your thoughts on these two trends in the comments down below. Normal or crazy? If you've watched a Clean My Space video before, you've heard me talk about baking soda before. I can't stop talking about it. And if you want to watch a baking soda hacks video and learn even more great ways you can use it, you can watch this video right over here. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you subscribe to the Clean My Space channel. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.